Pride is the welcome mat to the door of destruction. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. We're taking a look at images of the end, looking at things that have happened in the past. One of those was a feast, Belshazzar's feast. And we're going to go to this feast, but we do not want to stay there because it's from this lesson that I hope we see the danger of pride. You know, the Bible speaks about pride in a lot of different ways, but it never speaks about it positively. Very clearly, the Lord has shown us in the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse number 18, that pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Now, biblically, this puts us in a whole different paradigm than what we see today. We're living in a world that has actually taken pride and made it a virtue. We've made it something good. But the Bible clearly said that it is pride that precedes destruction. And that haughty spirit is like the first wind. It's the first move to a fall. So when you go to books like Daniel, in Daniel chapter 5 and verse number 22, you see this story where Belshazzar is being called out as a king for his pride. He says, "And thou his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knowest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven." And what happens? So what did he do to manifest the pride? They brought the vessels of his house before thee. Thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And on top of that, they praise the gods of silver and gold, brass, iron, wood, stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know. There is a God, and that God in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, thou hast not glorified. Belshazzar glorified empty gods. He was worshiping. He was even willing to defy the God of heaven in order to indulge himself in this worship. Does this sound familiar? Does it sound like something that's going on right now? Because it's showing us it's the red light on the dashboard of life to say we've got to be mindful. We're headed to a fall when we walk away from faith. But even in the midst of this pride, you see the promise of God, because it says in verse number 24, "Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written." God wrote this on a wall, knowing that Belshazzar was going to ignore it. But ultimately, he wrote it for us. He wrote it as a warning to us, to show us that when we make the decision to live by our own spirit and we embrace a spirit of pride, however it manifests itself, God is not pleased. And because of that, we put ourselves apart from him. And if we're apart from the love of life, we become apart from even the breath of life. It leads to death. Brothers and sisters, I pray today, we pray that we will see this lesson and not just lament what has happened to us as a nation or as a world, but let's start by being that change personally. Let's make sure we're not making Belshazzar's mistake, but instead let's turn from our pride and find joy in experiencing in absorbing the grace of God. And what kind of heart does God work in best? It's the humble heart. God can do more work in a broken heart than he can in a proud heart. So let's humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he has promised that if we do, and when we do, he will lift us up.